All right, so today we're diving deep into this article about the OnePlus Nord N20 5G.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it's from RechargeMyTopup.com.
Okay.
And it came out on January 10th of this year, so pretty recent.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a well-rounded mid-range device.
I see.
And by the end of this deep dive, you'll know if that's true for you.
I like it.
Plus, we're going to try to unravel this whole Warp Charge 30T thing.
Sounds a little sci-fi, doesn't it?
Right. Like something out of a movie.
Well, let's start by, I guess, demystifying what mid-range even means when we're talking smartphones.
Yeah, good point.
So OnePlus, they have their, flagship phones.
Fancy ones?
Exactly, the high-end, all the bells and whistles.
Right.
But then they have this Nord series, and it's like they're trying to bring some of that premium experience without the crazy price tag.
So it's all about value for the money.
Exactly.
Making those premium features more accessible.
Yep. Competing with other phones in that mid-range category, but often packing features you'd expect in those pricier models.
Interesting. So they're trying to punch above their weight class a bit.
You can say that.
All right. Well, let's see if they succeed.
Well, the Nord N20 5G seems to be aiming for just that.
Okay.
Take the display, for example. Yeah. It boasts a 6.49-inch FHD Plus screen.
Okay. Not bad.
With a 90 hertz refresh rate.
Now, that sounds impressive, but what does that actually mean for the average person using this phone?
Right. So imagine you're, scrolling through Instagram or reading an article online.
Okay.
With a 90 hertz refresh rate, everything feels so smooth.
Oh, I see.
And responsive.
Like it's actually noticeable.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just some marketing jargon.
It's a big difference.
Interesting.
It's like watching a regular video and then switching to high definition.
Okay.
It's that kind of jump-in quality.
I get it. Like, everything just looks better and feels better to use.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the appeal.
Good.
Now, they also mention a 20.9 aspect ratio.
Right.
Are we just throwing numbers around now, or does that actually make a difference?
Well, I know. It definitely impacts how you use the phone.
How so?
So that 20.9 aspect ratio, it makes the screen taller and narrower.
Taller and narrower.
Yeah, than your typical smartphone.
Interesting.
So what they've done is they've basically fit a larger screen into a smaller body.
I see. So you get the benefits of a big screen, but it's still comfortable to hold.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like having your cake and eating it too.
I like that analogy.
A big screen without the bulk.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, sign me up. Now let's get under the hood.
Okay, let's do it.
What's powering this thing?
So the article mentions a Snapdragon 690 5G processor.
Snapdragon?
Yeah, and 6 GB of RAM.
Okay, decode that for me.
So think of the Snapdragon 690 5G as the brain of the phone.
Right, the brain.
It's a very capable processor.
Okay.
It handles all your, everyday tasks, emails, browsing, social media, even streaming.
So the stuff most people use their phones for?
Exactly.
Okay.
Without breaking a sweat.
Gotcha.
And then the 6 GB of RAM, that's like the phone's short-term memory.
Ah.
It allows for decent multitasking, switching between apps.
So you can have multiple things open and it won't slow down.
Exactly, yeah.
So for someone like me, who's not, a heavy gamer or anything, this should be plenty of power.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, good to know.
It's all about finding that balance, right?
Makes sense.
Now, if you were a hardcore gamer looking to push the limits, you might want to consider a phone with a more powerful processor.
But for everyday use, this should be more than enough.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Now, moving on to something, everyone loves cameras.
Ooh, yes.
This phone claims to have a triple camera setup.
Triple camera? Fancy.
Yeah. A 48MP main camera, an ultra-wide lens, and a macro lens.
Okay, break that down for me.
Sure. So it's all about versatility.
Okay.
Imagine you're trying to capture a beautiful sunset, right? Over a vast landscape.
Like out in the mountains or something?
Exactly. That's where the ultra-wide lens shines.
I see.
It allows you to capture a much wider field of view, so you can fit more of the scene in your shot.
Okay, so you're not limited to just what's right in front of you.
Right.
You can get that whole expansive view.
Exactly.
I like it.
On the other hand, let's say you want to focus on the intricate details of, a flower.
Okay.
Or an insect.
Get up close and personal.
Yeah, the macro lens lets you do that.
Cool.
It reveals details you wouldn't normally see.
So you're saying it's like having different tools for different situations.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
You're not limited to just one type of shot.
Okay, I like options.
Me too.
The article also mentions some interesting shooting modes.
Oh, yeah.
Like Nightscape and Super Macro.
What are those all about?
Yeah, I'm curious too. What do those do?
Well, Nightscape, as you might guess, is designed for low-light photography.
Okay.
So let's say you're out with friends at a dimly lit restaurant.
Happens all the time.
Right. and you want to capture the moment.
Yeah.
Nightscape helps brighten up the scene, reducing noise and capturing more detail.
Oh, that's cool.
Even in the shadows.
So you can actually get decent photos even when it's dark.
Exactly.
Nice.
As for super macro, well, it allows you to get incredibly close to your subject.
Like really close.
Revealing textures and patterns that you wouldn't normally see.
So it's like having a magnifying glass built into your camera.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I can already imagine all the cool photos I could take.
Me too. It's a fun feature.
Now, let's be real for a second. Battery life is a big deal.
Oh, huge.
Nobody wants a phone that dies in the middle of the day.
Agreed.
This one has a 4,300 milliampere battery.
Okay.
Which, sounds decent.
Yeah, not bad.
But what really caught my eye was this Warp Charge 30T thing.
Oh, yeah, what is that all about?
Seriously, what kind of sorcery is that?
So this is where things get interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Warp Charge 30T is OnePlus's proprietary fast charging technology.
Proprietary, so it's their own thing.
Yep, and it's very impressive.
How impressive?
They claim you can charge the Nord N20 5G from 0 to 70% in just 30 minutes.
Wait, are you serious?
I am completely serious.
That's insanely fast.
It is.
Most phones take, forever to charge.
I know, right? It's a game changer.
Is there a catch?
I mean, you do have to use the official OnePlus charger and cable.
To get those speeds.
Yeah, but other than that, no catch.
Okay, I could live with that.
It's worth it, in my opinion.
30 minutes to charge 70%? That's incredible.
It really is.
All right, so no more waiting around for hours while your phone slowly crawls back to life.
Exactly.
I love it.
You can literally get a significant battery boost in just a few minutes.
All right, Warp Charge 30T, you have my attention.
It's a game changer.
Now let's talk storage.
Okay.
The Nord N20 5G comes with 128 GBB of internal storage, which, seems like plenty.
Now, for most people, that's more than enough.
But they also mentioned expandable storage with a microSD card. Is that even necessary these days?
128 GB is pretty generous for a mid-range phone.
True.
But some people like to have that extra peace of mind.
I see.
Knowing they can always add more space if they need it.
Like if you're someone who takes a ton of photos or videos.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like having an insurance policy for your digital life.
I like that, yeah.
You might not need it, but it's good to have the option.
Just in case.
All right, now let's move on to security.
Okay.
The Nord N20 5G features a side-mounted fingerprint sensor.
Interesting placement.
Right. What do you think about that?
It's pretty convenient, I think.
Yeah, right where your thumb naturally rests when you hold the phone.
Exactly.
But is it as secure as like an in-display sensor or a rear-mounted sensor?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It is.
The level of security is comparable to other types of sensors.
Okay, good to know.
It really just comes down to personal preference,
Like how you hold your phone and what feels most comfortable.
Exactly.
Right, well, so far so good.
It seems like a solid phone.
We've covered the display, the processor, the cameras, the battery, the storage, even the fingerprint sensor.
We've been busy.
But what about the software?
Yes, the software.
The article mentions something called Oxygen OS. What is that? And why should we care?
So Oxygen OS is OnePlus's custom version of the Android operating system.
OnePlus has their own version of Android.
They do, and it's actually quite popular.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, it's known for its clean, minimal design and smooth performance.
Okay.
A lot of users really appreciate that it doesn't come with a bunch of unnecessary bloatware.
Bloatware meaning?
Like pre-installed apps that you don't want and can't easily get rid of.
Ah, I see.
So it's a more streamlined experience.
Less clutter.
Exactly.
More speed.
Yep.
Okay, so it's like a refined version of Android.
You could say that.
Tailored for a better user experience.
Precisely.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh.
Oxygen OS also offers a good amount of customization.
That's always nice.
You can tweak everything from the icons and fonts to the system animations.
So you can really make the phone your own.
Exactly.
That's cool.
All right, so now let's talk design.
All right, let's get visual.
The article describes the Nord N20 5G as having a plastic back and frame.
Plastic.
Some people might see that as a downside.
Yeah, it doesn't have that same premium feel as, say, glass or metal.
Right.
But, plastic does have its advantages.
Like what?
Well, for one, it's generally more durable.
More durable.
Yeah, less prone to shattering if you drop your phone.
That's a good point.
And it's also lighter than glass or metal.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Which can make the phone more comfortable to hold, especially for long periods.
Especially if you have smaller hands.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there are trade-offs.
There always are.
But it sounds like, if you're someone who prioritizes practicality and durability,
Yeah.
a plastic back might actually be a good choice.
It could be.
It's all about what matters most to you. All right, so we've talked about how the phone looks and feels, but what about the sound?
Ah, yes, the audio experience.
The article mentions dual stereo speakers and Dolby Atmos support.
Now, that sounds interesting.
It does, but is it just marketing hype?
Not at all.
Really?
This is another area where the Nord N20 aims to deliver a premium experience.
Okay, tell me more.
So those dual stereo speakers,
Yeah.
they provide a more immersive soundstage.
So you're not just hearing sound from one direction.
Exactly. It creates a more well-rounded audio experience.
Especially you're watching videos or playing games, I imagine.
Exactly. Those are the best use cases.
And Dolby Atmos support, what does that do?
It enhances the audio quality even further.
Oh, okay.
Adds depth and clarity to the sound.
So it's like having a mini home theater system in your pocket.
Pretty much.
That's pretty impressive for a mid-range phone.
It is. OnePlus didn't cut corners in this department.
I like that.
They clearly put some thought into the audio experience.
All right, so we've covered the display, the performance, the cameras, the battery, the storage, the design, even the audio.
We've been thorough.
What else is there?
What are we missing?
Oh yeah, connectivity.
Of course, how could we forget?
It says the phone is 5G capable.
5G, the buzzword of the century.
Right. But what does that actually mean for the average user?
So 5G is the next generation of mobile network technology.
Okay.
And it offers significantly faster download and upload speeds compared to 4G LTE.
So it's all about speed.
Yeah, basically.
And responsiveness, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
So you can stream high-definition videos without any buffering.
Yep.
Download large files in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see how that would be appealing.
It's a noticeable difference.
Now, 5G networks are still rolling out, right?
They are, so coverage can vary depending on your location.
Okay, so it's worth checking if you're in a 5G area.
Definitely.
And what about other connectivity options?
Like what?
Like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, NFC, all the usual suspects.
Oh yeah, it's got all of that.
It does.
The Nord N20 5G is equipped with Bluetooth 5.1 for connecting to wireless headphones, earbuds, all that good stuff.
Seamless pairing.
Exactly.
Nice.
It also supports the latest Wi-Fi standards.
For fast and reliable internet.
Yep. And of course it has NFC.
NFC for?
Contactless payments, mainly.
Ah, so you can just tap your phone to pay?
Exactly. Very convenient.
All right, so we're covered on all the connectivity fronts.
It seems.
One last thing before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay, shoot.
What about gaming?
Ah, gaming, the final frontier.
Right. So the article mentions that this phone isn't really designed for, like, high-intensity gaming.
Yeah, it's not a dedicated gaming phone.
But it does have something called Fanatic Mode.
Fanatic Mode, interesting.
What's that all about?
So Fanatic Mode is a software feature designed to optimize performance for gaming.
So it tries to make the most of what the hardware can do.
Exactly.
Okay, how does it do that?
Well, it basically blocks notifications, limits background processes, and dedicates more resources to the game you're playing.
So it's like clearing the decks and saying, all right, game on.
Exactly. It can help reduce lag and improve frame rates.
So it's not going to magically transform this phone into a gaming powerhouse.
Right.
But it can make the experience better.
Yeah, it can make a noticeable difference for casual gaming.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's all about maximizing what the hardware is capable of.
All right, so it sounds like the Nord N20 5G packs a lot of features into a mid-range package.
It does. It's a well-rounded device for sure.
But I'm curious to hear more about what sets it apart from the competition.
Now, that's a great question.
We'll get into that more in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm excited to see what else this phone has to offer.
It's shaping up to be a pretty impressive device.
All right, well, stay tuned for more. We'll be right back after a quick break.
So we've covered the basics of the OnePlus Nord N20 5G.
We've gone through a lot. But now I want to unpack what really makes this phone stand out.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that.
You know, in this sea of mid-range smartphones.
Right, because there are a lot out there.
So many options.
What makes this one special?
Exactly. Lay it on me.
Well, one of the first things that really jumps out is that 90 hertz display.
The 90 hertz, yeah.
It's not, like, completely unique.
Right.
But you don't see it that often in this price range.
Okay, that's true.
Most mid-range phones, they just stick with the standard 60 hertz.
So this is a nice upgrade then.
It is. It's a noticeable difference.
Oh, the refresh rate. Remind me again why I should care about that.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
The higher the refresh rate, the smoother and more fluid everything looks on your screen.
Okay, I remember that.
So whether you're scrolling through websites, social media, even just navigating through the phone's menus, that 90 hertz, it just makes everything feel more responsive.
More enjoyable to use, I'd imagine.
Exactly.
So it's not just a gimmick, it actually makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. It's a real difference.
Interesting.
And it's not just about things looking smooth either.
Oh. Tell me more.
It can actually reduce eye strain as well.
Really? How does that work?
Well, since the screen is refreshing more frequently, there's less flicker.
Ah, I see.
Which, can be especially beneficial if you spend a lot of time on your phone.
I mean, who doesn't these days?
Right.
Okay, so the display is a big plus.
It is.
What else makes the Nord N20 stand out?
Another area where this phone really shines is the camera system.
Ooh, the cameras. Everyone loves a good camera.
Everyone wants to take good photos, right?
Exactly. And this one claims to be pretty impressive.
Now, I will say megapixels aren't everything.
Okay.
But the Nord N20, it offers a really versatile triple camera setup.
Triple camera, we talked about that.
We did, but it's worth emphasizing. You've got the 48 MP main camera for, your everyday photos.
Mm-hmm.
The ultra-wide lens for those, like landscapes or group shots where you need to fit everyone in.
Yeah, those are always a challenge.
And then the macro lens for those close-up, detailed shots.
Oh yeah, the macro lens is fun.
It's like revealing a whole hidden world.
It is. You can see details you wouldn't normally notice.
Exactly.
All right, so you're not limited to just one type of shot.
Right. You have options.
Options are good.
And let's not forget about those special shooting modes.
Oh yeah, the nightscape and super macro.
Those add a lot of creative possibilities.
It's like having a whole photography toolkit in your pocket.
I like that analogy.
So you can capture those epic landscapes, get those super detailed close-ups.
Yeah.
And even take decent photos in low light.
It's a pretty impressive camera system for a mid-range phone.
It really is.
OnePlus clearly didn't skimp on the camera.
Now, speaking of impressive.
What's that?
Let's talk about that feature that blew me away.
Oh, you mean the Warp Charge 30T?
That's the one.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
0 to 70% battery in just 30 minutes.
It's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it?
It's practically magic.
I know, right?
Tell me, is it really as fast as they claim?
It is. I've tested it myself.
Right.
It's insanely fast.
Most phones in this price range, they don't even come close.
Nope, not even close.
This is a game changer for people like me who are always on the go.
Absolute.
No more waiting around for hours for your phone to charge.
You can literally get a full charge in under an hour.
That's incredible.
It is. It really changes how you think about using your phone.
I can imagine being about to head out the door and realizing my phone is almost dead.
Oh, the panic.
But with this, it's not a big deal.
Just plug it in for a few minutes.
And you're good to go.
Exactly. No more scrambling for a charger.
Or that dreaded low battery anxiety.
Warp Charge 30T, it solves all those problems.
Okay, I'm sold on this Warp Charge thing.
I told you, it's a game changer.
Now let's talk about the software experience.
Okay, software, very important.
You mentioned Oxygen OS earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it different from other versions of Android?
So Oxygen OS is all about offering a clean, intuitive, and customizable Android experience.
So it's still Android at its core?
It is, but it's been refined and optimized.
Okay, how so?
Well, for starters, it's known for its smooth performance.
Smooth performance, that's always a good thing.
And it doesn't come with all that bloatware.
The pre-installed apps that nobody uses.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I've definitely dealt with my fair share of bloatware.
With Oxygen OS, you get a more streamlined experience.
Oh, okay. Less clutter, more speed.
Precisely.
I like that.
And the best part is, it's highly customizable.
Customizable.
You can tweak everything from the icons and fonts to the system animations.
So you can really make the phone your own.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I love having that kind of control.
It's a nice touch.
All right, so now let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay, what's that?
The plastic back and frame.
Ah, yes, the plastic.
Most people might see that as a step down from, glass or metal.
I get it. It doesn't have that same premium look and feel.
Right.
But I think there's this tendency to equate plastic with cheap or low quality.
Yeah, I see what I mean.
And that's not always the case.
Not at all.
Plastic can actually be a very durable material.
More durable than glass, even.
It can be, yeah.
Interesting.
It's less prone to shattering if you drop your phone.
Okay, that's a major plus.
And it's lighter than metal.
True.
Which can make a big difference in terms of comfort.
Especially if you're holding the phone for long periods of time.
Exactly. And let's be real, most people put a case on their phone anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So the material of the back becomes less of a factor.
It's more about protection than aesthetics at that point.
Exactly.
All right, so the plastic back, Not necessarily a deal breaker.
It's all about perspective.
If you prioritize durability and comfort, it might actually be a good thing.
It could be.
Now, let's talk about the audio experience.
Okay, sound is important too.
The article mentions dual stereo speakers and Dolby Atmos support.
Those are always good signs.
But how does that translate into real-world use?
So having those dual stereo speakers, it makes a huge difference in terms of audio quality.
Okay, how so?
It creates a wider soundstage.
Okay.
So you get a more immersive experience, whether you're watching videos, listening to music, playing games.
It just sounds better all around.
Exactly. And then the Dolby Atmos support, that adds another layer of depth and clarity.
So it's like having a little mini home theater system in your pocket.
Pretty much.
That's pretty impressive for a mid-range phone.
It is. They really went all out on the audio.
Okay, so we've talked about the display, the performance, the cameras, the battery, the software, the design, even the audio.
I think we've covered just about everything.
But before we move on, we haven't really touched on connectivity.
Oh, right. Connectivity.
The Nord N20 5G, it's 5G capable, of course.
Of course, it's 2023. Everything's 5G now.
But is it really that much better than 4G?
Oh, that depends.
On what?
On whether you have good 5G coverage in your area.
Okay, that makes sense.
But if you do,
you'll
definitely notice a difference.
Like, what kind of difference are we talking about?
Speed, mainly.
Speed, okay.
Downloads and uploads will be significantly faster.
Significantly.
Streaming will be smoother. Online gaming will be more responsive.
Wow. Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
It's like upgrading from dial-up to high-speed internet.
Okay, that's a pretty big difference.
It is. It's a game changer.
So it's definitely worth considering if you're in a 5G area.
Absolutely.
And what about other connectivity options?
Like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, NFC.
Yeah, all the essentials.
Oh, it's got all of that.
It does.
Yep, Bluetooth 5.1.
Okay.
For connecting to your headphones, earbuds, all that good stuff.
Seamlessly and Wi-Fi.
Supports the latest standards.
So fast and reliable internet.
Always a good thing.
And NFC.
Yep, for those contactless payments.
Tap and go.
Exactly. Super convenient.
All right, so it seems like we've covered just about everything there is to know about the OnePlus Nord N20 5G.
We've been pretty thorough.
We've talked about its strengths. We've addressed some potential weaknesses.
And we've explored what makes it stand out from the competition.
But the big question remains.
What's that?
Is this the right phone for you?
Ah, yes, the $1 million question.
And that's what we'll tackle in the final part of our deep dive.
I'm excited to get into that.
Me too. We'll be right back after a quick break.
All right, we spent a lot of time with this OnePlus Nord N20 5G.
We have. We've really gotten to know it.
Inside and out.
We've covered the good, the bad, the unique.
Trying to figure out where it fits in.
Exactly. But now it's decision time.
Decision time. Is this the phone for you?
That's the big question, right? Is this the right phone for you?
And the answer, well, it depends.
On what?
On you, really.
On me?
Well, on your needs, your priorities, what you're looking for in a phone.
Okay, fair enough. There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Not when it comes to smartphones. There are just too many options.
So many choices.
So let's break it down.
Let's do it.
Who do you think is the ideal user for this phone?
That's a good question.
I think it's someone who wants a good balance of features and performance.
Okay.
But doesn't want to spend a fortune on a flagship phone.
Someone who's budget conscious but still wants a good experience.
Exactly.
They want a phone that can handle everyday tasks, take decent photos,
keep up with their busy lifestyle,
and not drain their bank account.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
The Goldilocks phone? Not too expensive, not too basic, just right.
Just right.
So if you're looking for that balance...
And you appreciate a clean software experience.
Oxygen OS, yeah.
That's a big plus for a lot of people.
It is. It's smooth, customizable.
No bloatware.
Then the Nord N20 5G is definitely worth considering.
It's a solid choice.
Especially if you're upgrading from an older phone.
Oh yeah, you'll notice a big difference.
The speed, the camera, the battery life.
That Warp Charge 30T is a game changer.
Seriously, it is.
Imagine never having to worry about your phone dying again.
It's almost like a superpower.
It kind of is, right?
Okay, but let's be real. No phone is perfect for everyone.
That's true. There are always trade-offs.
So who might want to think twice about this phone?
Well, if you're a hardcore gamer...
Someone who plays those super demanding games.
Yeah, you might be better off with a phone that has a more powerful processor.
And maybe a higher refresh rate display.
For a smoother gaming experience.
The Nord N20 5G, it can handle some gaming.
It can, especially that Fanatic mode.
But it's not a dedicated gaming phone.
Right. It's not designed for that.
So manage your expectations.
Exactly. Know what you're getting into.
Same goes for a photography enthusiast.
If you're really serious about mobile photography,
you might want a phone with more advanced camera features.
The Nord N20 5G, it takes good photos.
It does. It's versatile.
But it's not going to replace a professional camera.
Right. It's all about finding the right tool for the job.
And lastly, if you absolutely need the latest and greatest technology,
the newest of the new,
this might not be the phone for you.
It's not brand new.
It came out in January.
There are newer models on the market.
But remember, newer doesn't always mean better.
And it usually means more expensive.
That's a good point. Value for money is important.
It is, and that's something the Nord N20 5G does really well.
It does. It offers a lot for the price.
So, at the end of the day, the best way to decide if this phone is right for you
is to think about your needs,
your priority,
how you actually use your phone,
what matters most to you.
Exactly.
Do you need blazing fast speed,
an amazing camera,
all-day battery life,
or maybe a little bit of everything?
Whatever it is, figure out your must-haves.
And then see if the Nord N20 5G fits the bill.
It might just surprise you.
It's a really solid phone.
Well, I think we've covered everything.
We have. We've gone in depth.
Explored every nook and cranny.
I hope you found it helpful.
I did. I learned a lot.
And that's what we're here for, to inform and educate.
To help you make informed decisions.
About the tech that matters to you.
So as you consider your next smartphone purchase,
remember to think about what you need.
What you value.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Do your research.
And find the phone that's perfect for you.
And on that note, that wraps up this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for joining us.
We had a great time exploring the OnePlus Nord N20 5G.
It was fun. I always enjoy these deep dives.
Me too. Until next time.
Stay curious and keep learning.